Quite an introduction. I don't know what to say to that. Well, first off, let me say thank you for being here. I want to recognize some of our students. If you're a student at Muskogee, raise your hand. One of the things that I want to say something about today, because I think it's really important to know, is that you're going to hear from our football coach here in just a moment, but I will tell you that we're raising young men. And part of that, and we have these conversations often, one of the things that we're doing is making sure that as we raise these young men, that we're teaching them character development and understanding how they're supposed to treat others. And that's very, very important, because I think we've lost a lot of that. When you walk up to a door of these young men, they should be opening the door for a lady. That's part of what we're trying to train our young people today. A lot of that's been lost, folks, and I'll tell you, that's something that we need to make sure of. I just came back from a conference from Oklahoma City, and it was 2 days ago, and they talked about trauma of students. Do you know that there are many of our students, I don't know what the statistics are, I should have looked that up, but there are many of our students that come to us that have already been traumatized. It's the silent trauma that is absolutely devastating to our children. When they can't read or they have an issue academically, what we're finding sometimes is that they have had trauma in the household and they've brought that with them. So domestic violence, we deal with that every single day. When you think about what's happened, it's the residual of that trauma that they've had at home. So we're working very hard through our different organizations that we're working with. Our psychologists are really working very hard to make sure that we're identifying that and we're helping our children. I want to also end by saying this. One thing is I have a feeling that all of the men in the room that actually have the heels on know what plantar fasciitis is now. That was the best joke I could come up with, guys. I'm sorry. But I want to say this, that this is so important of what we're doing and what we're doing today. The symbolism of all of those people moving and walking as a unit, as a group, to say this has got to stop. It's important, and it's important work that our community does, our Wish Foundation does right here in Muskogee, and I appreciate that. And I will say this, that a lot of people, I love the scripture talking about love. I talk about that because one of the things that we need to provide our children every single day is love. And so I think sometimes we miss that. And if you have an issue, talk to somebody. There's people in here today that have had an issue last night. Go talk to somebody. Get help, because that's what we need to all do. Is we'll embrace you, put our arms around you, and we'll love you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.